Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Crimi-trent. Today we're going to be working in a sketchbook. Yay! Sometimes I like to do doodles, sometimes I like to do actual paintings, and I have a wet media sketchbook that I like to paint some stuff in, and today I decided to paint Bluejay. Isn't he cute? And put a little border around, some fun. This is a combination of gouache and watercolor. If you don't know what gouache is basically opaque watercolor. You can activate it the same way as watercolor, but it's more opaque, so it's flat. But you can put it down like I did in some areas and make it look like watercolor. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go over my supplies today. I'm using my Moleskine wet media sketchbook. It's like a 6x8. You can get this online. Some stores carry them, but right now obviously you can't go in stores, so you have to get it online. I'm going to be using some paints in my gouache palette and my watercolor palette. I have my paper towel always right over here. I'll use my various brushes and I have my water jars up here. And I penciled in the Bluejay. I printed off a Bluejay from the internet. I was going to do these three birds, the Oriole, Bluejay, and the finch, but I figured just today I'm going to just do a simple bird in my sketchbook. This Bluejay, I haven't done a Bluejay yet. And I like doing birds. I used to make these decorative. I'm going to show you one of my birds in my sketchbook. Christmas, a little cute little decorative bird. And that's in watercolor with some ink, actually. It's very decorative, kind of fun. It's not really realistic, but it's just fun to do. So the Bluejay, if you don't know how to draw it, you just print one out, and if you can trace it, you want to trace that. I mean, because they're pretty straightforward. It's just like that bird shape, like the half moon with the little tail, and then you got this crown, kind of like a jagged crown edge here, and then his little beak and his little eye. And then I just sketched in a little branch down here. So for the beginning of this guy, I'm going to wash in some light tones of blue. I've used ultramarine mixed with some white for the gouache. I'm going to grab some paintbrush. I'm going to use my Princeton No. 8 Neptune. So I mixed in, this is gouache, and I used Holbein gouache. I've mentioned many times, and I showed a tutorial on that. It looks like this now. It used to look like something else. They're not very cheap, but they have the greatest quality colors. If you can't afford them, obviously, because you're a beginner, I would look for something like this. This is a one that I have. I use white, cheap white, because white I use a lot. This is a designer gouache from Daleroni. They're pretty cheap, so I would get those. Okay, so I've mixed some ultramarine, which is some white, just a little bit. I'm going to get my brush. Now gouache, the consistency, you don't want it as loose as watercolor, although this is pretty loose right now. I'm going to get some purple in there. And grab some more white and stick that in. You want a little thick and creamy, but if it's not, no big deal. It's just that this particular book, the sketchbook that I have, even though it's a wet media sketchbook, it does buckle. So I have these clips. I didn't mention that. I have these clips that clip it down. I'm getting some more white in here because it will buckle and it's hard to work with it. So I mixed up some of that ultramarine with some white. It's fairly light. Now you can just, gouache is kind of like a acrylic paint in a way, but not, because you can reactivate it like watercolor and you can water it down like watercolor. I showed you one of the tutorials on my page. That's like that. See, I'm adding water and it's kind of washy, but you don't have to do that. You can make it more flat. I'm just going to put in this light blue color first. Just wash it into his body area. And I could do the whole thing because it's gouache. I can paint right on top of that, no problem. And even watercolor, if you're going to paint a light blue wash, you can totally paint the dark blue right on top. And I'm going to get it even lighter in here. I'm adding some more white, or I can clean up my brush, put some water on it, and just wet it down and wash it in, just like watercolor. putting in this blue wash all around this little head. And even up in here, we're going to build up this whole entire body. Just fill this in. Also, if your pencil marks show on your paper, that's fine too. That kind of looks really cool. It's has a fine art look to it. If you draw it out and don't erase it, like I didn't erase this one, so with gouache I can just paint right on top of it. Watercolor, you'll see it. So that's going to be, fill that in. And we're going to put his little legs in. Same kind of light pink, blue cone. Just fill in his little legs here. And then we're going to just build up the part of his, like, his wings with the different various tones and blues. Same thing up in here and in his beak. Right about now you see them everywhere. Now I'm going to be adding in, and take some of this ultramarine, going to mix it in with that lighter color. I'm getting that more medium blue. Still need to make it a little brighter. It's kind of dull looking. And then we're going to put that in. Still too dark. Add a little more white to that. Going to wash that in over here. This part. And if that looks still too dark for you, what's great about the gouache is you can add way more white. Go back in. I'm going to grab some more white. And go right on top of that and lighten that up. It's the beautiful thing about it. And then I'm going to add the white, a little more white over here to make it a little bit lighter over here, right underneath that crown part. Now here you see, like, he has like this really pale whitish blue like on his wing. We're going to leave that and then go here. We'll just leave that part. It doesn't have to look realistic. And then we're going to add a deeper tone of the ultramarine mixed with some white. And going out here to the tail. Obviously you feel like you know it's a Bluejay because of the particular head features, the crown that it has. So we're somewhat doing this realistic, but not really. We're going to just fill it in with the colors that look realistic, and then we're going to go in and add some details. So for his crown part, like this part, you can see they've got this really like indigo, and then that little deeper blue up here, and then the indigo beak. So we'll do that deeper blue part on his crown up here first. Still a little too dark. I'm going to add some more white. Now with watercolor, you just take out and add water. With gouache, you add white. And it's a little pointy edge on the outside of that crown. Like I said, I'm going to just not get so bogged down with the details of like if it's realistic or not. Just want to keep in the same color scheme. So I'm going to clean up my brush and kind of use a little of that paint and try and blend it downward. Clean up my brush again. It's even more water and blend it even more. We're going to have to see, it's already starting to buckle because it's a wet media. Let this dry just a tad. We can add some more white over here. Straight up white gouache. And blend that. All right, up and in here, we're going to add more details. So I'm going to grab a different brush for that. I'm going to use my long round because that's a nice point to it. Number 8, Princeton Velvet Touch. Now I've mixed some of this ultramarine So a little bit of black. There's the black over here. So you're getting that indigo color. And it's really deep dark under here. Gonna add some more water. It's too dry of paint. And get a little, like almost blackish blue. And here we're gonna just put some lines going like that. Let me zoom in a little more so you can see. And the crown, you can see that he's got this deep, dark indigo edge to him. Goes right to his eye. Like I said, I'm going to keep it realistic a little bit, and then I'm going to add in some details I'll show you in a bit. Go in his eye, fill that in. I always leave a little white halo right there. And it has this blue, deep blue by its beak. Again, some deep blue on the outside, just in the edge. And a little in here. And that beak is like a navy blackish blue. Mine's like probably a little bit bigger than his is supposed to be. The beautiful thing about gouache is you can go in and fix things. Okay, and I'm going to add a little more of that deep blue along the edge here. Okay, so for the wing, I'm going to add some details, just some lines here. And a little curly lines here. And then some more of these straight lines here going backwards and out here. Okay, and then I'm not liking this area, so I'm going to go back in and grab that paint that I used in the beginning, which is the pale blue ultramarine. And go, oh, how did I get green on my brush? I grabbed it from somewhere. So we'll go back in and grab that paint. And go right over that. Which you can do easily with the gouache. All right, now from here, we're gonna make some fun little decorative elements to his body. So he looks realistic now, which is cute. But I'm like, okay, that's nice. I'm bored. Let's add some fun to him. So I'm taking that same indigo color. I'll do an outline here and here. And then I'm going to go and grab a medium tone. So I'm going to take this ultramarine, going to add some white to it. So it's a little darker than this. See, I'm adding the white. So we're going to do some little scallops, like that. I mean, he really doesn't have that, but we're just going to add that in as fun. Just these little scallops. Basically like half circles going all along his body. Variegated. And I'll just fill in this little line over in here. Now we can grab a really light tone, go in here. Oh, need more white. It's not going to work. Okay, so I'm going to grab some more white. Oh, no, actually I'm not going to do that. I'm going to grab this darker. I'm going to grab some ultramarine. A little darker. Get that indigo color. And then mix with some ultramarine, some white. And just do some lines going downward like this. And we'll take that same color and we'll just put little dots in between the little scallops. Just tiny little dots. So it's becoming more decorative than realistic. You started out realistic, so you understand. I'm going to add a little dark line here and under his leg. And then on the eye. You can put some little dots over the eye, around the beak. Get some lighter dots, put them on here, on the tail. Some white dots, lighter dots. Play around with like all different patterns you could do with the bird. And pull them out. So now we're going to work on the branch and some flowers. I'm just going to grab some burnt umber from my watercolor palette. So mix it. Let's get some burnt umber, a little bit of black, a little bit of green. Just muddy little brown here. And I'll just throw in the little branch. And some little branches off that branch. And then some more. All right. And then I'm going to make some leaves. I could use watercolor. I have this hooker's green with some yellow. Got this nice limey olivey kind of green. And I could just brush in some pretty little simple leaves with the watercolor. So the bird is mostly gouache, so he's flat, and then we're getting at some variations with the watercolor leaves. In this long round brush, you're just doing like these pointy ovals and connect it. Very simple leaves. Nothing to write home about. Add some little touches, little sprays of greenery. Just these simple little leaves. Then we'll add some flowers in to make it springtime. If you don't like these leaves, you can put whatever kind of leaves you like. I have a tutorial on leaves. Now we'll add some pretty pink. I have some pink here. It's a watercolor. Mix up some pink. And I'll put a little dark yellow. We'll get this nice little pinky peach color. And we'll just do some simple blooms, 4 or 5 petal blooms. If that feels a little too orangey, just kind of looking that way. We'll add a little more pink to it, rose. And if it's too dark, you can always just put some more water on it. Yeah, brush, but don't have it super watery when you put it down. You want it to be wet on dry on the paper. So you get this more blush color now. Pretty pale blush. Just keep adding some blooms wherever you want them. Go and grab some of the paint, right? The tube paint. So it's thicker. Put it right in the middle. It could bleed out. Kind of like a not a magnolia, the cherry blossom flower. Now the background, you see this one I have here? I did this little cool like oval and then added some elements around it. You can do the same thing here. Whatever color tones you want, like an orangey yellow, peachy color, green. I don't know, and play around. Add more flowers. So I think I'll try and mix up the color that I think might look nice. So I have this orange tone right now. But I don't know if I want that because orange and blue are the opposites, neutral, but I don't feel like that's spring. I think I could do like a peachy color. So I'm going to try add some pink. And if I still don't like that, I might just do blue on the outside here. I'm thinking, and once you put it down, it's there. Or would I do blue? That is the question. See, in this one, the bird was red with green. It was the opposite. So maybe you would think the blue with the orange would be good. So I'm thinking like a coral color would be pretty. But I want it pale. So I've mixed this dark yellow with the pink. So I've got this peachy tone again. But I put more water in it, make it much lighter. All right, so let's do that. Let's put the little halo. It's going to go around like an oval. I might have to undo the clips for this one. I'm going to paint in the oval first and then paint around it. So you're just washing in this peachy orange color on the outside of the bird. Giving it like a frame, basically. Now the other one was like an oval. I think I'm going to fill it in as if I was framing the page. So he's kind of framed in this oval. Still trying to keep that color light. It's tricky blending it on this type of medium and this paper. Because this color is in the orange family, which is an opposite of the blue, it's really pulling it out. And I'm liking the way it's looking like a frame. You see how I had that, there was a hard edge already here because I painted that line. I basically went back on top of it to blend it so you wouldn't see that hard line. See, I'm going back on top of the whole thing so it blends better. Otherwise you're going to see all these hard lines. And that's a trick to making it look like one tone, because watercolor will dry and dry like a hard edge, and if you want it to look more blended, you're going to have to go right on top of it and try and blend that color in as fast as possible. Yeah, well, that's good. So I'm going to dry this and come back. All right, I've dried it. It's like got this nice pretty pale peachy color. I've actually made a darker tone of that in the gouache because I want to go on top of this and make like a little pattern. So I'm going to hit the edge of this. And then I'm going to do like a little scallop pattern on the outside of it. And it's going to show up nicely because it's gouache, it's thicker, it's opaque. From here, you can just, in the inside of it, make like a little pattern. I'm going to water down that gouache, and you can just go in and do like little dashes. Dashes or dots. Whatever you feel like making for a pattern on the outside of the border. Stripes. Just have fun with it. See, I'm just making all these little dashes. Oh, there's little lines. You could fill in the scallop with another color if you want to. You can do whatever you want. See how I just do this little fun, funky pattern? It's so simple and easy. It looks kind of cool. And there you go. And go in here and can fill in some of these flowers. I have this bright pink here. This bright rose. Just going to throw in some more blooms. Can put some out here and over here. Have fun with it. You know, it's a sketchbook. It's just a doodle kind of situation, and it doesn't have to be serious. Just getting some fun ideas to do. And there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Saturday sketchbook, doing something fun in your sketchbook. You know, what's great is to have a sketchbook, fill it all up, and then look back at the progress that you've made, or just fill up one book. It would be a great idea if you had a whole book of birds, you know, or a whole book of like particular flower, you know, like all the flowers, and each page is a different flower. I mean, it's pretty cool to do that. So have a great day, guys. I hope you're staying safe and taking care of yourself. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for coming to my channel, for all your lovely comments. And if you have any questions, please don't forget to leave them in the comment section. And have a great day.